Welcome, everyone. It is Cannabis News. I'm your host, Joe Klare. It's February 27th, 2020. The show, as always, is presented by the Marijuana Times. Find us at marijuanatimes.org. Click the video tab there to find the show. A lot of great stuff going on at marijuanatimes.org, social media links, and more. Come check us out. If you're listening to the audio version or watching the video version, you hear crinkling in the background. Maybe you catch a glimpse of this. That's this garbage bag taped to my arm. Got some new ink today, bro. Just a couple hours ago. I will reveal my new ink on tomorrow's show. That's right. That's what we call in the business a tease. A little broadcasting tip for you video podcasters out there. I will say this. It's not weed related or cannabis related. It's a family thing, but it does look cool. So I'll show you tomorrow. But not right now because it has a black bag on it. Anyway, today I'm talking about cannabis reform, how likely that may or may not be under a second Trump administration. Also, we'll take a look at Maryland's medical marijuana industry and NBA star Kevin Durant speaking out about cannabis. All of that coming up. But first, of course, Cannabis News is brought to you by Natureside, nature-side.com. And they are organic, all-natural pesticides, grow safe and poison-free with Natureside. Don't use harmful chemicals or banned pesticides, or I believe the scientific term is yucky chemicals. None of that stuff. Instead, check out Natureside, nature-side.com, a proud sponsor of Cannabis News for over 600 episodes. Thank you, Natureside, for your continued awesomeness. This first story by Julia Granowitz at marijuanatimes.org. Cannabis reform remains unlikely under the Trump administration. She goes through the mixed bag, if you will, of Trump. He talks a lot about states' rights and wanting states to make decisions. Then you go through what's gone on over the last few years. The Trump administration once again proposed eliminating the right of provision in the budget plan that protects medical marijuana from prosecution by the Department of Justice. He also talked about IQ and marijuana causing you to lose IQ points a couple months ago. His director of strategic communications, Mark Lauder, said, "I think the president is looking at this from a standpoint of a parent of a young person, to make sure we keep our kids away from drugs. They need to be kept illegal. That is federal policy." Of course, the thing went down with Sessions, and although he's not around anymore, Trump's remarks simply reveal that he is out of touch, given that the majority of Americans support marijuana legalization for both medical and adult use, said Sheila Vicaria from the Drug Policy Alliance. This type of rhetoric is fear-mongering and inflammatory. What's going to happen if Trump gets reelected, as far as cannabis goes, obviously is conjecture. It being a mixed bag from Trump is not surprising. It's kind of Trump's MO, unpredictability, to say the least. So I think that he's going to waver in this stage, the stage where nothing's forced in front of him. I think if Democrats let's say in November, Democrats increase the majority in the House, they maybe squeak out a majority in the Senate, or they get enough switches to where the Democrats can combine with the states' rights Republicans to kind of get marijuana legislation through the Senate. I think if Trump is presented with something on his desk and forced to either say, hey, I'm not going to sign this, or I'm not going to sign it, he'll just sign it. There's not going to be fanfare. But as I've said many times before, we're not looking for fanfare. Obama, Trump, whoever, they don't need to get up on the podium and light up a blunt and say, yo, man, weed's legal, blaze up. No. Don't mention it at all. As a matter of fact, I don't care. Just sign it. Just sign it, move on. I don't need fanfare. I don't need hemp pens. I don't need a ceremony. I don't need any of that. Just the signature. That will do. That'll do, big. That'll do. We probably shouldn't say that to Trump. If he's going to sign something that you favor, you want to try to be nice about it, at least till it's signed. I mean, Trump is very, he's sensitive, let's say. He's sensitive to things. So don't say that'll do, pig. That'll do. Just a little advice. if he signs it. But like I said, I think if he's presented with something, he's forced to make a decision, he'll just sign it and move on with his life. Because in the end, it's not that important to him. He doesn't care. That's why he wavers back and forth. It's not an interesting subject to him. He'll speak on it because he feels like he needs to, because he did this whole running for president thing, and we elected him, or well, I didn't vote for him, but people elected him under the Electoral College, so he's president, so he feels like he's got to, do some of that stuff and talk about pretty much anything somebody asks him, but he's not interested. So hopefully enough can happen through the Congress and the elections this year to kind of force bills favorable to cannabis law reform in front of Trump. And I think under that circumstance, he'll just sign them, which is good. WUSA9.com brings us our next story. Growing cannabis industry yields $21.7 million. For Maryland, the marijuana industry also created about 4,000 jobs. See, to me, I think the jobs are a more important aspect of this than the almost $22 million for tax revenue. But people see things differently. As you know, if you've listened to the show for any length of time, I'm not exactly a huge tax guy. I'm not pro-taxation. I'm not pro-IRS. I'm not going to say I'm anti-IRS. Don't lay that on me, bro. Get me on some kind of watch list. But I'm not cheering for the IRS saying, yeah, man, more tax revenue. Yeah. Like I would a sports team. Yay, sports ball. No. Anyway, the point is this. The medical cannabis industry has contributed about $21.7 million in tax revenue for the state of Maryland and created about 4,000 jobs. Between January of 2018 and June of 2018, sales of medical cannabis in Maryland totaled about $35 million. For the same time period a year later, sales exceeded $106 million as a growth rate of over 200%. The analysis from Beacon Economics, a California-based research and consulting firm with expertise in economic impact analysis, said the industry is rapidly growing and has the opportunity to grow in the near future to meet the demand of its customers. There's about 85,000 certified patients in Maryland, according to Mackie Barch, chairman of the Maryland Wholesale Medical Cannabis Trade Association. So things going well in Maryland as far as medical marijuana, relatively. I mean, obviously improvement is needed everywhere. But in relative terms, progress for medical marijuana in Maryland. A growing industry. Puns. Yes. This last story from New York Daily News, nydailynews.com. Internet star Kevin Durant is a big advocate for marijuana, wants NBA to remove weed from the banned substances list. Brooklyn Nets star currently rehabbing from a torn Achilles and out for the season is an advocate for the plant and its removal from the NBA banned substances list. He said, it's one of those plants that's an acquired taste. If you love it, you love it. If you don't, you're not even going to pick it up. It shouldn't even be a discussion these days. He said on a recent episode of All the Smoke on Showtime, it's just like marijuana is marijuana. It's not harmful to anybody. It can only help and enhance and do good things. I feel like that it shouldn't be a huge topic around it anymore, which is a good point. And it's not just a good point because it's a point I've made many times. We shouldn't even be talking about this. All of this. All the stuff I talk about on the show shouldn't even be an issue. I've said many, many times, I should be on here doing bong reviews or something because I shouldn't need to talk about all this. But here we are. There's no logic to it. It stems from decisions made by people long ago that are long dead and continued by other dead people and some still living people up to, the last couple of decades when marijuana legalization started to really take root around the country. So this article says Durant's stance on weed is not surprising considering last year he teamed up with a venture capital firm that specializes in cannabis. He and Snoop Dogg also backed a marijuana startup called Dutchie. He compared weed's effects to legalized and non-stigmatized stimulants. He said everybody on my team drinks coffee every day, taking caffeine every day, or guys go out and have wine after games or have a little drink here and there. Marijuana should be in that tone. Why are we even talking about? No, that's not right. It's either what are we even talking about or why are we even talking about it. I'm sure he didn't say why are we even talking about. That has to be a typo. Maybe he did. Maybe he said why are we even talking about. I don't know. It shouldn't even be a conversation now. He continued. He said hopefully we can get past the stigma And no, it does nothing but make people have a good time, make people hungry, which none of that should matter either. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad. The point is people aren't harming you. Which brings us down here to the bottom of the article. When, all marijuana articles, especially in the mainstream press, they have to have copious amounts of puns, as many as you can fit in there for a lot of them. And, of course, they have to have the opinions of others. You gotta go find someone else's opinion on this topic. When it comes to this story, of course, they went to Charles Barkley to find out his opinion on marijuana. Charles Barkley, speaking to USA Today, said there should be limits to weed allowance. I'm not a pot guy. I've had pot like 5 times. It just makes me want potato chips. But I got to be progressive. Listen, if you're using pot to heal your body and things like that, I guess I can accept that. That's nice. It's very big of Charles to accept your medical use of cannabis, even though it affects him in no way whatsoever. Continuing. But I don't want guys smoking pot just because they like smoking pot. That sentence right there encapsulates the problem with all of this. I don't want guys smoking pot just because they like smoking pot. How is that Charles Barkley's business? I'll wait. I'll sit here till the end of time for a good answer to that question. How is it Charles Barkley's business if guys smoke pot just because they like smoking pot? The answer, of course, is it's not. Not at all. He says, I guess I can accept that. He can accept the medical, but if you're just doing it because you like smoking pot, no. No. That is where Charles Barkley draws the line with what you do in the privacy of your own home that has no effect on him. He will not stand for it. This behavior of yours that has no effect on him or his life at all. He will not stand for it. Just shut up. Charles Barkley, shut up. Maybe I should make the name of this article or this show, the name of this episode, Shut Up Charles Barkley. Or Charles Barkley, comma, shut up. Just shut up. I understand USA Today asked you for your stupid opinion, and you gave your stupid opinion, and they printed your stupid opinion. I understand. I'm telling you, it's none of your business. Shut up. That's right. You want to say something about it? You tweet me. We will battle out in the Twitter sphere like men. I'm at Stoner Jesus 420. We'll go at it on Twitter. The fireworks will fly. Anyway. He said, I know it's been helpful to my football friends, but if you're going to use cannabis, I must be getting old. I'm saying cannabis. If you're going to smoke weed or pot, it better be for the right reasons. Oh, it better be for the right reason. Shut up. Shut up, you buffoon. Your dumb opinion, it better be for the right reasons. No. The answer is, it's not my business. It's not my business why they do it or what reasons they have. It doesn't affect me, so it's not my business. People can't say that. It makes them so uncomfortable. People can't say, I don't know, and they can't say, that's not my business. You have somebody's opinion on somebody, they'll give it to you. Invariably, they will never, ever, almost ever say, that's not my business. I don't have an opinion on it. No, they will spew their useless opinion into you for as long as you'll listen, and maybe longer. Like me, with this show. But see, you volunteered to watch this show. Unless if someone's holding you hostage or whatever, and they're making you watch this show, I apologize. I can't, there's nothing to do with that. Do your best to try to extricate yourself from this situation. You've been abducted and you're being forced to watch cannabis news. Or sit back and accept it and learn something. And hope they make a mistake and you can escape. Maybe like a Netflix documentary or something. If I'm in a Netflix documentary, make sure you spell my name right. It's Klare. Thanks everybody for checking out the show today. Cannabis news. We're 5 days a week. The Marijuana Times, marijuanatimes.org. Search the Marijuana Times on YouTube. Thank you to Nature Side, nature-side.com, and their organic all-natural pesticides. Thanks to all of you for watching and listening and spreading the truth about cannabis with this show. Please continue to do so. We'll see you next time right here on Cannabis News.